Le FAUNE was born out of a movement research that I was doing around ballet and the plie, which is the bending of the legs. And this research was for a completely different solo, but as I was watching myself dance, my eyes started to notice this one small detail, which was like the space in between my legs that was kind of appearing and disappearing in a particular rhythm and in a particular dance. And I was like, oh, I want to focus on that. And I found that the best way to do that was through the camera, of course, because on stage you see so many other things. And that got me into the whole like wild journey of exploration that led to the creation of that movie. So it was very challenging to be prepared, and that was also gave me some friction with my team, which I've definitely learned from. And then the second challenge was, of course, the editing, because I had collected a bunch of images that I thought would be interested, but I didn't have a clear pre-written synopsis or script. So I also didn't have like the perfect shots to match what I wanted, so I had to really get creative also during the editing. My artistic background is in dance. I was trained as a dancer at an academy in Arnhem called Artes, which also has a bit of a focus on creation, so I definitely got already some awareness around and practice around creating. A few years after getting into my dance career, I also started to work with a place called the Dansateliers in Rotterdam, which supports young makers to develop into choreographers. So they also supported me for this movie and other creations, which was great. My approach to Screendance is very much around dance itself. So how can I keep choreography and movement of the body as a central element of the film, but how can I find new ways of looking at it? So in Le Faune, for example, that was by looking at details and opening up a whole new universe through that. I'm not necessarily looking to create irony or to provoke. What I'm interested in showing contradictions of life and kind of putting them next to each other in ambiguous spaces, and that results in some sort of irony or humor, and sometimes also provocation perhaps, but my interest is very much in working with the contradictions and the beauty of that. As most of us during these COVID times, my projects are cancelled or postponed. I do have a new video project that I slowly started working on, which is based on a different movement research that I have been doing, more on the floor level, floor work, breakdance, which is a background I have. And but the idea is pretty similar, to create a very poetic, visual and visceral movie by focusing on the body and finding new angles and perspectives of looking at it, and precisely choreographing the gaze in relation to the movement.